Have you ever heard a non-native English speaker say, I don't have what to do, instead of saying, I don't have anything to do? That person's native language was probably Slavic. In today's video, I want to teach you a construction that we use a lot in Czech when we speak informally. Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. And today I want to teach you this specific construction that is very handy. The only thing is when you translate it to English, it doesn't make much sense. Nemám co dělat? This means I don't have anything to do. Literally, I don't have what to do. This is what you say when you're bored, or you run out of things to do, and you say, nemám co dělat. Nemám co dělat. I don't have anything to do. In reality, the full sentence would be, nemám nic, co bych mohl or mohla dělat. Nemám nic, co bych mohla dělat. I don't have anything that I could do. Nobody really says this. It's too long. Nemám nic, co bych mohla dělat. We take these away and what we have left is nemám co dělat without any comma. So when you look at this construction, you have the verb to have, usually in negative. I don't have anything to and specific activity. Then this pronoun co, and then usually in infinitive. I'll show you more examples, and afterwards I will also teach you some other phrases which are based on this same construction. Jdeme na to. Imagine your friend tells you, nemám co číst. Nemám co číst. What does it mean? Číst means to read, and what they are saying is, I have nothing to read. I've read everything. I have nothing to read now. Nemám co číst. When you look at the construction, you use the verb to have, usually in the negative form. I don't have anything to read. Nemám nic, co bych mohla číst. So let's work with this construction and translate a couple of sentences from English to Czech. It is easier than you think. So, first sentence. You want to encourage your friend and you say, come on, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. How do you say that? So we start by saying you don't have, which is nemáš. And then we say what to lose. Nemáš co. And how do you say lose? Ztratit. In this case, it's ztratit, not prohrát. Nemáš co ztratit. Číslo 2. I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything to say. The same thing. I don't have, which is nemám. What else? Nemám co. The only thing left now is to say. We want to use the perfective form because we want to say I have nothing to say to this specific matter. Říct. Nemám co říct. I don't have anything to say. Nemám co říct. You could also say I don't have anything to add. That's also very common. Do you know how to say add something? It's not přidat. When we talk about speaking, we would like to use this verb. Dodat. So they both work. Nemám co říct. I have nothing to say. Nemám co dodat. I have nothing to add to this specific matter. This sentence can also be a little bit longer. Nemám k tomu co říct. K tomu as in to it. So I don't have anything to add to it. I don't have anything to say about it. Nemám k tomu co říct. You could also switch it. You could also say nemám co k tomu říct, but this one is more common. Číslo 3. We have nothing to eat. We have nothing left to eat. We don't have, nemáme, what to eat, co jíst. Nemáme co jíst. You could also add, už nemáme co jíst. Imagine you went for a hike and then you packed your snacks and then you realized you've eaten everything, so you say, už nemáme co jíst. We have nothing left to eat. By the way, this lesson was inspired by a friend, my dear student, who pointed out this interesting Czech construction and how it reflects on the English language when non-native English speakers use sentences like this. Thank you for that, friend. Číslo 4. I have nothing to hide. Nemám. What else? Co, obviously. Now, how do you say hide? This specific phrase would go with skrývat. like to cover something, to hide something. Nemám co skrývat. Nemám co skrývat. This is a phrase that you say when your conscience is clear. You have nothing to hide. Nemám co skrývat. As I mentioned before, these sentences usually work with the negative, but you could also say mám co číst, as in I have a lot to read. Usually like, yeah, I have things to read, don't worry. Mám co číst. Or you could say máš co ztratit. You have things to lose. You have a lot to lose, so watch out. Máš co ztratit. You could also make a question. You could ask your friend, máš co číst? Teď jdu do knihovny. Máš co číst? Do you have things to read? Do you have enough to read? I'm going to the library now. Let's look at 4 more sentences that have more components in the sentence. Let's work together. I decided to make this as a little bit of an exercise. In each sentence there is one word missing. The first sentence wants to say, you have nothing to do here, as in you have no business here. What's missing? Vy tady nemáte co dělat. Because we have to say the verb to have, nemáte. Vy tady nemáte co dělat. Literally, you have nothing to do here, but as in, this is not your place, you're not supposed to be here, you have no business here. Next sentence. We have nothing to give them. When kids come on a Halloween night and you forgot to buy candy, you say, we have nothing to give them. What's missing? Nemáme jim co. Nemáme jim co dát. So this extra thing is jim, which means to them. We don't have anything to give them, to them, the dative case. This is an interesting phrase which actually doesn't even have any infinitive. So these phrases don't have to have an infinitive always. What it means is, I don't have anything to wear. You're going to the theater and then you realize, well, I have nothing to wear for this occasion. What's missing? I don't have, nemám co na sebe. You could still add an infinitive here so that it is more clear to you. Nemám co si vzít na sebe. Vzít si means to put on. Nemám co si vzít na sebe, but we omit it. We just say nemám co na sebe. Most Czech people would say it like this. Nemám co na sebe. And this last sentence wants to say, I don't have work to do, which is similar to the first sentence I showed you. Nemám co dělat, but here we are mentioning the word práce. So this is a little tricky. You can guess what prepositions we could use here based on the previous sentence. And yes, you guessed correctly. Nemám co na práci. Nemám co na práci. I have no work to do. I am done. Let's see a few more sentences that are a little bit more complex. And the first one that doesn't have a negative form. I want you to try and translate it with me into English. Máme co slavit. Do you know what slavit means? Think about it. Slavit means to celebrate. Máme co slavit. When there is a happy event, somebody passed their exam, graduated, got a new job, you can say máme co slavit. We have something to celebrate. So here is the infinitive. Let's translate this sentence. Nemáš se za co stydět. Look for the verb here. That is stydět se, stydět se. To be ashamed of. But when we use this verb, we also say stydět se za něco. To be ashamed because of something. So za has to be part of it because what we are actually saying, co here is the accusative case. In all the previous sentences and these ones, co here is in the accusative case. Because as I told you at the beginning, the full sentence would be máme něco, co bychom mohli slavit. We have something that we could celebrate, so this is in the accusative case. Nemáš se za co stydět. You have nothing to be ashamed of. I understand this is a little bit more scary because it has all these short words and you might not be sure in which order to use them. I recommend learning this phrase because it's really handy. When you want to encourage someone, you can say nemáš se za co stydět. Nemáš se čeho bát. What does it mean? Let's look for the verb. Bát se. Bát se. To be afraid of. And what happened here? Why is čeho here instead of co? Because bát se always goes with the genitive case. Bát se něčeho, to be afraid of something. So we cannot say nemáš se co bát, that would be wrong. So the construct that I showed you usually goes with co and usually with the infinitive, but if there is a verb that requires something else, then we have to change this. Just like here, nemáš se čeho bát means you have nothing to worry about, you have nothing to be afraid of. And our last sentence, nemám koho se zeptat, or nemám se koho zeptat, that's also possible. The verb is zeptat se, to ask. Now we have koho, which means who. So we're referring to a person. It doesn't have to involve things. We can also use person. This means I don't have anybody to ask. I have no one to ask. A to je všechno. Let me know if you came across these expressions or if you heard someone saying this in English. I don't have what to eat or I have what to celebrate and things like that. Thanks for watching my videos and I'll see you next week. Uvidíme se za týden. Máte se co učit. You have a lot to learn.